Hello, Flosstube. It is time for my June recap. If you are new here, I have two types of videos you'll find on my channel. So I do a lot of cross stitch and I also do paper crafting, and I teach paper crafting classes. So if it says Flosstube, it's cross stitch, which is what you found today. If it says Facebook Live or something like that, then it's my card making videos, and you're welcome to look at those too. So welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been here before. This is episode 79. It is July 1st, 2026. So I'm trying to get this all recorded and uploaded today before I do any stitching. Okay, I have my notes down here so you'll see me look down. I'm also trying without my glasses because the glare is horrendous with my ring light, but I may have to put them on to read. Hopefully I can read my numbers without them. We'll see. All right, let's get started. I thought I would show you. You will see I have a bunch of new starts this month, or in June, all patriotic, and I realized I only have 2 patriotic framed pieces. So I thought I would show those to you. So let's see if we can do this without too much glare. This is Bent Creek. I think it's just called Flag. And I did it years ago. 2012, it looks like I finished it. All right, where are we gonna put these? And then the only other one that I have finished and framed is this, Star Spangled Garden. I think it's Country Cottage. It's either Country Cottage or Little House, but I think it's Country Cottage. I'll see if I can find, oh, I can't read that. I do try and date all my, I think 2013 is when I finished that one, it looks like. So it's time to do some more patriotic, and this is a good year to do it. So I will show you finishes, whips, new starts, and then my plans for July, which is more patriotic, and then my haul. So I'm just gonna scoot these stacks over. I'm trying again where I take everything out of the bags and stack them up, so maybe I'm not leaning over as much. This time I remembered to put their project cards with them, so I have all the information, and that took me a while this morning to make sure all the new ones I had started had project cards. So let's start with finishes. This is Season's Dreams Spring by Barbara Anna, and it is stitched on 32 count vintage country mocha with all the called for DMC. And this is a set of 4. So I will start the summer one probably in August. We'll see if I stick with my plans all month. All right, and this is my other finish. I had 2. This one I need to get to the framers. So this is one I got off Etsy, and I don't know where the project card went for it, but it was, I can't remember, but it was on Etsy, and it's the birth sampler for my granddaughter. And I do have the fabric plastic. It's Mi Amor by Fortnite Fabrics. So, and I have half of it left, so I'll cut that off before I take it to the framers, which is why I kept the fabric plastic with it, so I can put it back in there and I'll remember what it is. It's 32 count. Most of my stitching is 32 count, 2 strands over 2 threads, except for full coverage, which is what is next. Okay, those are all my finishes, 2 finishes. I think I had 5 new starts, so it's okay. I know some people don't want to have more than a certain number of whips. I don't care. If I want to start it, I'll start it. If I feel like I want to work on it till I finish it, I do that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me how many I have. This is the, so now we're into whips. And this is the Heaven and Earth Stitch Along for 2026. I'm doing the Wise and the Brave, so I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And I forgot to write down where I am. I'm over 20,000 stitches, not quite to 25% if I remember right. And we're finally getting into the little robin, the little English robin. That's the top of his head. I just love this. So my goal is to get 6 pages done by the end of the year so I can get the rest of the stitch along charts. So I calculated just the other day, and I have to do around 150 stitches a day to do that, which is not bad. But I'm going to be gone a week in July. I'm going to be gone a week in August. So I need to get some extra stitches in, because this is not one I can take with me when I'm going anywhere. All right. Next is the Lola Crow Stitch Along for this year. This is Museum After Midnight. And I'll put a picture in of where we are now. We've had 4 parts released. After the frame, I am woefully behind. So I don't have, this is all the frame I have done. But because the first part was down here, I made sure I got that part of the frame done. And so now I'm working on that one. Even though this is part 1, this might be part 2 or 3, I don't remember. Part 4 is right up here. I'm just gonna kind of work what I can and then move across. And then maybe I'll have fewer counting mistakes if I'm doing the frame as I'm filling in other things. That's my hope anyway. This is on, I didn't pull its project card, but it's still on my fabric. This is a Be Stitch Me. This is Gray Magic, 32 count Lugana Gray Magic by Be Stitch Me. So this is one, I try and work on it every day. Oh, I did try to pull the project card, it's right here. But like today, I probably won't have time to work on it with doing the Flosstube. Okay, and then another one that the only reason I worked on it is because I was doing some traveling and this was easier to take than any of my other big ones. So this is Beach Quaker by Primrose Cottage. I started this with my friend Michelle in May when we were in Tulsa at their Tiny Modernist class. And I have a hanging thread on this one. So this is where I am on this. This is on 32 count lamb's wool from Witchelt. And I'm just using the called for colors. Really fun, it's bright. A bright and pretty pattern. I've had a lot of fun. My friend Michelle, I think she finished hers. I think she sent me a picture the other day that she had finished hers, so she's way ahead of me. Okay, so those were kind of the bonus projects I worked on. So now we will, and I haven't told you any stitch counts. So the Season's Dream Spring, I did 193 stitches. That finished that one. Mary Margot was 369 stitches. That was just the name and the date, and that finished that. Wise and the Brave, I did 4,475 stitches. Museum After Midnight, I did 1,014. And Beach Quaker, I did 516 stitches. Okay, I think we're caught up now. You'd think I would remember to say all of this, but I don't. All right, the next, so now we're into wheel spins. So I've been this year setting up a wheel, and that way I can put whatever I feel like I might want to work on that month on the wheel. I don't have to put everything on there. Like this wheel spin, I had some basics that I usually have, Mirabilia, full coverage, but then I had some patriotic ones. So that's what I like about doing a wheel spin. I can change it up each month to what I want to work on that month. So this was my first wheel spin. This is Celebrate 4th of July from Madame Chantilly. These are big. It's 142 by 242. And this is on 32 count Heroic from Picture This Plus, my favorite fabric, as you heard last time, for patriotic. And I did 602 stitches. So I think I did the flag and I did the shelf. I don't remember what else. So my wheel spins, I work on them for 500 stitches and then I spin the wheel again. At least that's the goal. There's a couple of these that didn't happen for reasons you will see when I show you. All right, so the next wheel spin was full coverage. So I have a space on my wheel usually that says spin my full coverage wheel. So I'll spin that. And then it picks one of my full coverage, and these are always folded exactly opposite of the way you need them to be to show them. So this is Beachcomber's Bounty. So I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And I'm not parking anymore, so I'm working in parked threads and going back to diagonal on this one. I did 541 stitches. This is on 28 count, 1/1 full cross with called for DMC. So I still have some threads to work in, but I've been working on these diagonals over here. And I didn't write down, like I said, I didn't write down any percentages, so I can't tell you how many stitches I have on that or what percentage it is. I stopped and had lunch before I started filming, and then I forgot to do that stuff. All right, and I keep trying to push my glasses up that I'm not wearing. Next on the wheel was Firework Lane. This is by Little Stitch Girl. This is what it will look like when it's finished. And I did 562 stitches on this. This is also on Heroic. So I know I worked on this house. I think I had the white in already. Well, maybe I didn't have all of it. I did this fireworks, and I filled in the door in the house. And I don't remember if I did some of the white or not. But see how pretty it looks on that Heroic. I just love that. It's just perfect. I have done a Christmas piece on Heroic too, and it turned out nice. I think I told you I did 562 stitches on that one. It's hard to remember. All right, this next one is one that didn't get very many stitches. This is 4th of July from Stitching with the Housewives. So I'll show you. This is the one I was working on. This is on a 30 count onyx from Week Style Works. So I have decided I cannot work on black, even 30 count, even with paper underneath of me, anything. I don't enjoy it, and I don't feel like I hit the right holes. So I'm UFOing that, and I'm going to restart it on charcoal. So this is a dark gray, and this is by Witchelt. So I'm hoping that this will work better. I did 170 stitches on the black before I decided I just couldn't do it. I just didn't feel like I was hitting the right holes. So it's on my wheel for the next month. So if it gets spun, then I'll restart it on that charcoal. So that was one that didn't get the full 500 because I just couldn't do it. All right, next wheel spin was Dressmaker's Daughter. This is one of my favorite Mirabilias. This is, I get to go in August to, is it Gathering Threads, I think, is the retreat, and Nora Corbett is the guest there. I don't know if she'll have something designed for us. I hope so. But I'm definitely going to take this to work on when I go there. I'm so excited. That's been on my bucket list forever, is to meet her. So I'm really excited about going. I purchased my plane tickets the other day, so I'm ready. So let me show you the whole thing first. So I've been working on the spring. So summer is done. I'm doing a very good of showing. We're doing a very good job of showing this. This is summer. It's done. Autumn, part way, but I've been working on summer this year. So I would love to have it finished, summer finished by the end of the summer, and then I could work on autumn in the autumn and then start winter. So we'll see. I did 513 stitches on this. So I filled in the dress, and now I'm working on this part of the mannequin up there, or the dress form. But I will probably try and get it to a point where I can just, oh, I didn't tell you, this is on 32 count milk chocolate, which is the called for. I think it's a Witchelt. It doesn't say, but I think it's Witchell. I don't remember what I was saying before that. Okay, this is another one that the wheel spun, and I ended up not putting 500 stitches in it because when I put this on the wheel, I thought I still had the summer one to do, which is this one. This is Seasons of the Heart. Oh goodness. With that needle and thread, and I thought I still had summer to do. Well, it's evidently done. So what I had started was autumn. This one up here. So I worked on it one night. It is on 32 count vintage country mocha. And I did 196 stitches, and I decided, you know what, it's autumn. I don't want to work on autumn now. I want to work on summer stuff for patriotic. So I just put it away and spun again. So the 196 stitches is the door and this part of the house. And this is on vintage country mocha, I think I said. 32 count. So, and I decided they were my rules, my spins. I can change my mind if I want to. Okay, last wheel spin. This is, I don't speak French, Bord la Mer maybe, by Madame Lafay. It's hard to get this without the glare. This is on 32 count Misty Rain by Lakeside. And here is the whole thing. So it'll be kind of hard probably to see what I've done, but I filled in this line. The coral was already done, so I filled in the line behind the coral. I've brought this down, started on the seagull's head, and then there was white that needed to be filled in and little white stitches in between. So it all adds to the piece, but not any real exciting stuff. But it all needs to be done. All right, that is all of the wheel spins that I had in June. Now we're getting into my new starts, which, like I said, there were 5 of them. And they're all patriotic, and I probably showed you them in my plans, but now we have a little start on all of them. And, excuse me, I put them on a wheel. Yeah, I was like, did I tell you how many stitches I did on the last one I did? I put them on a wheel and spun the wheel, and every Monday I started a new one. So the first one on June 1st was Glory in the Wind from Robin Pickens. So this is my first Robin Pickens to actually start. I have plenty of her patterns. This is on Heroic, 32 count Heroic. And I did 252 stitches. So these I only worked on that one day, the Monday I started them. So that is part of the bird and part of the stripe of the flag, one of the stripes of the flag. And these, I will tell you, these will all be a part of my plans for July. So these 5 new starts. Excuse me, let me get a drink real quick. All right, the next new start on the 8th was this hands-on design plaid year, 4th of July. I learned my lesson with the stitching with the housewives, and I did not buy black for it. So this is Picture This Plus Arctic, 32 count. And I did 187 stitches. So I got those little firecrackers in the middle done. Well, not the little sparks around them. There's some more of these goldish sparks around the others, but again, this will be part of my plans for July. And then the third one that got spun to start, and I've seen a lot of people working on this one. This is Pledge of Allegiance from Plum Street Samplers. I did 154 stitches. This is on, it has a needle minder attached to it. This is on 32 count frost from Stitch Me. I just had it in my stash. It's a real pretty blue. So I'm hoping the white that's in here will show up. Yeah, it's got more color to it than is showing up on camera. So I just got that first little flower thing. Maybe I didn't get it all done. He looks kind of flat on top. I thought I did, but we'll see. That was 154 stitches. Again, it will be in my plans for July. I'm trying to fold these up a different way every time so they don't get too creased. Yeah. All right. So that was on the 15th. And then the 22nd, the reason I chose Mondays is because there were 5 Mondays, so that meant I could start 5 and not just 4. Because originally I was going to do Sunday. And I was like, no, then I can only do 4. I think I was, anyway, I started them on Monday. So this was the 22nd. This is One Flag, One Land with the needle and thread, Brenda Gervais. Again, I'm doing it on Heroic from Picture This Plus. And I did 244 stitches. And the reason I did more, I did actually work on it for 2 days, is because I had started it for some prompt where I needed like 200 stitches. So I worked on it a second day to get that. And I had to change, I don't have the floss right here by me. His face color called for peanut brittle, and mine was definitely a tan brown. It did not look anything like the picture. So one of the ladies at my LNS said, do perfect pie crust. So that's what I got for it. All right, and then my last new start and my last whip, or my last thing I worked on in June was Happy Day, Plum Street Samplers. And they show different options on the back for fabric. And so I decided I wanted one of the more colorful ones. So this is on, I'll have to turn it over. So I was getting ready to start it. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it must have been folded at my LNS for a while because there's a light line where it was folded, but on the other side, it's okay. It's not on there. So see, you can't see, there's a little bit of a fold there, but it didn't turn lighter. This is 32 count eucalyptus from Fox and Rabbit. And I did, it's always hard to get fabric to show up right. I did 147 stitches. So that is everything I worked on in the month of June. That was a total of 10,694 stitches. Like I said, 5 new starts, 2 finishes. I stitched 28 days total, and I stitched on 17 projects. Okay, I'm gonna have to lean over now to get the rest of my plans. So what I'm going to do in July is I will still work on my Heaven and Earth stitch along, hopefully at least 150 stitches each day. And then the Museum After Midnight, I always want to call it Night at the Museum After Midnight, when I can, try and keep up some. I mean, I'm not going to keep up with it. I love Lola Crow stitch alongs. I have them all. I have not finished a single one. I have never been able to keep up because I always want to stitch on other things too. If I stitched only on that, I'm sure I could keep up, but I have too many other things to stitch too. Okay, so the other, like I said, all those patriotic starts that I showed you are on my wheel. So what I'm doing for July is I've got a wheel of just patriotic charts. So not My Dressmaker's Daughter, not a spin a mirror wheel, not spin a full coverage, just patriotic. And there are 12 of them. So you've seen most of them. Celebrate 4th of July, Madame Chantilly, you saw. One Nation. That one was on my wheel in June, but didn't get called. Excuse me, again. This is by Bygone Stitches. A lot of people have done this or are working on this. Mine is on 28 count ale from Picture This Plus. And it is using the called for over dyed. Goodness, excuse me. So I'm really hoping this one will get called in July. Actually, I can probably just fold it in half. And that will take care of any see-through. Close to it. All right, come on. So I have all of the stars done, which took forever. And now I have started on the states. And I know somebody, I saw somebody mention they were going to put the states they lived in, stitch them in blue. And I thought about that. As of right now, I'm not planning to do that. I'm just going to leave the stripes red, all the states red and white. I don't know how long it'll be before I get to one that I've lived in. I've lived in 4 states, so. Oh, there went my ring light. Hang on. I'll pause. Okay, we're back. I do not know why my computer, my laptop, decides to just shut down sometimes in the middle of filming. I don't know. All right. I just showed you One Nation, right? So Firework Lane is also on the wheel. I showed you earlier 4th of July, the Stitching with the Housewives that I'm going to do a restart on. That is also on the wheel. Then another one that did not get spun in June is this Patriotic House Trio from Waxing Moon Designs. And I haven't started the next one. I just have one of them finished. This is Liberty. And these are on 32 count Cafe Mocha Country French Linen from Witchell. It's warmer than it's showing up. So I'll start one of them. I don't know which one yet. So that is on my wheel. And I will tell you which one, because I already spun to see what I'm going to work on tonight. And then the 5 that I started in June. So Happy Day, Pledge of Allegiance, One Flag, One Land, Glory in the Wind, and the Hands-On Design, Plaid All Year, 4th of July. And then I have 2 new starts. So starting 5 in June was not enough. We have more new starts. So the first one is, did I get heroic for this one? Yeah. All American from Primrose Cottage. And I saw somebody else had just worked on this or finished it. It'll be fun. And it is actually the one that's spun to work on today for July 1st. So I'll work on that this evening. So I'll have a new start today. And then the other one, again, I don't remember who I saw working on this. I really ought to write some of this down when I'm watching Flosstube, but I'm usually stitching and I'm watching on my TV. But this is Miss Liberty from Teresa Kogut. I saw somebody else was stitching on it or had just finished it. And this I got, I have no idea what this fabric is. NAF 32 count SB. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Somewhere I wrote down some of the abbreviations that my LNS uses. So they put it on this sticker that's on there, which is really handy. And somewhere I wrote down those abbreviations, but I don't know where. So that is another new start if it gets spun. If it doesn't, it'll probably just wait till next year. All right, so that's everything that's on my wheel, all those patriotic ones. And then the only other thing that might come out I have not seen yet. Stitch is So Beautiful usually has a stitch along every month. They did not have one in June. They were planning to have one in July, but Valerie, I think, is still dealing with some health issues, and so it's more important that she gets better than that we get a new stitch along. But this is Stitch is So Beautiful. I can't remember if I said that. So what you do is if you stitch at least 250 full cross or 500 half cross every week for the month, then you get the free chart that is the one that's available for that month. And they're charts that have not been released yet. So they usually release them about a year, I think, after they've been the free chart. So if there is a stitch along in July and Stitch is So Beautiful and it's a chart that I really want, then I will work on Woman in a Field of Flowers. This is artwork by Eder Jose Rosa, charted by Stitch is So Beautiful. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And this is where I'm at. And I'm really glad I'm doing this one on the diagonal, because then I'm not just in sky forever. I get sky and then I get some of the flowers coming in, which it's very confetti heavy down here. So it's nice to have some sky that's more bulk stitching, and then you get into the confetti and then you get to go back up. So that's been working out really well. So that one will come out if, like I said, if there's a stitch along in July. Somebody had asked yesterday, and I don't think they have said yet whether there will be one or not. Of course, we all want Valerie to get better, so that's more important than us getting free charts, as much as we love to get free charts. Okay, I have to lean over one more time. That is all, those are all of my plans. And now we have haul. So if you're not, oh shoot, there's one thing I didn't bring up. I'll just tell you about it, and then you can see it next month, because I probably will work on it. So a lot of people do Christmas in July, and I had thought about doing something for that, and then I was like, well, I have all these patriotic ones I want to work on. But what I decided is we are planning to dog sit away for a week in July, and I may take some patriotic. I may go ahead and spin and see what comes up, but I'm also going to take my shepherd's bush Christmas stocking that's for my daughter-in-law that we're dog sitting for, my son and daughter-in-law. So that will be a nice big count. So if the light's not as great there, I should be able to work on it. So I'll probably work on it a lot that week that we are dog sitting. So I will try and remember to put a picture in of which one I'm doing, just so you know what I'm working on. I have a very small start on it. I had hoped to get it done this year, but it's not looking good with everything else I've been working on. So we'll see. So that's the one other thing that I will, that I plan on working on in July. Okay, that is all plans, whips, everything. So now is haul. So if you're not interested in seeing what I've purchased over the last month, then thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay. All right, I was on a auto ship for this Year in the Woods 2 from Cottage Garden Samplings. This is the, is it Fawn? Yeah. So that's the last one. I haven't started any of these. I haven't started any of the first year either. That's okay. Then at my LNS, I picked up Miss Liberty, which I showed you. I hadn't had that chart, and then I saw somebody on Flosstube stitching it, and I was like, oh, I have to have that. Then I picked up at my LNS the latest hands-on design. So this first one is Made in the Shade. So it's a bunch of beach umbrellas. Maybe I'll start one of these in August. ABC. I also want to get, Tiny Modernist has a new drum that's ocean themed. I forget what it's called. I just saw somebody I was just watching. Anyway, Hey Sam. So this is, she said, Hey Peter. And then I think at Jingle Ball there was a Christmas one. Hey Santa, maybe? I don't remember. And then now we have Hey Sam, which I probably won't do him on black. And then I placed an order with Primrose Cottage because I wanted the rest of the beach series. So I got those because the only one I had purchased before was Beach Quaker. So this is Salty Kisses. These are so cute. I want to do them all. Sea, Sand, and Stitching. And then Beach Rules. And I think this board is one that their dad made. It's like More Made, I think, something like that. And then I picked up a couple of their newer ones. So Whimsical Quaker has strawberries. I probably should have started this in June for Strawberry Moon Sal, but I didn't. Maybe next year I'll do Strawberry Moon. And then Nettie's Sewing Basket. I thought this was so cute. And then I did purchase, because I love the way it was finished, I did purchase the finishing kit for it. So they have 2 different fabrics that they stitch on the bottom and on the side, and then trim. And then, I'll take this out of the plastic. I got my June Be Stitch Me Fabric of the Month. This is called Scroll. I get 32 count linen. It's a much richer gold in color, in person, I mean. It's so hard. That's a little better. It's beautiful. I don't know what I'll stitch on it, but it is gorgeous. I really do like their fabrics. I was in their Fabric of the Month club for a while, and then I was like, okay, I have enough fabric. And then I decided I wanted more fabric, so I got back in it. All right, and I did purchase, I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna try and do it this time. So hopefully you will see some pictures of online purchases I made. So Heaven and Earth Designs had a sale, so these are the ones I got from them. And then Stitches So Beautiful had a sale. These are what I got from them. And Top Bobbin, so Siska Stitches has been doing some pictures, and Top Bobbin was charting them for a while, and I think now Siska's doing it herself, but I did buy a couple of Top Bobbin designs on Etsy charts, so I'll put those in. Okay, I think that's it. That was a lot. Not bad though, only 37 minutes, so that's not bad. I showed you a lot in those 37 minutes, so I will see you 1st of August around there, so I can show you all of the patriotic stitching I got done, hopefully a lot. I will put a caveat in if I get tired of stitching just patriotic, or if I decide I want to just focus like that hands-on design plaid one. If I'm getting close to a finish there, I may just finish it. So they're my plans, so if I decide to change them, that's okay. All right, I will see you next month. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.